Hello. Hi all. Thank you for joining. I know there are a few countable people, but yeah, like let us have introduction. So yesterday we had session on smart contract development using Solidity. Okay. So today we are going to cover ERC standards and NFT smart contract development with Nikita. So yeah, who is Nikita? Nikita is a software engineer, blockchain developer at KiwiTech, and she is blockchain development trainer. Okay, so I'm handing over this session to Nikita now. Please, Nikita.
Okay, thank you, Pradnashil. Hi, everyone. In the yesterday's session, we have seen about how we can create our cryptocurrency. Okay, and we have coded one basic code and how a particular token has been created with import libraries of OpenZeppelin as well, and as well how manually we can write our functions to create any token. So today we are going to dive into a topic is called as the ERC standards. Okay. Now, as we know that we can create any token on top of Ethereum platform, but there were some problems. Okay, how these ERC standards came into picture. Okay, that we are going to first study that. Okay, the theoretical part, and then we'll dive into how to create our NFT smart contract. Okay, so I'll just share my screen. Okay. Hope the screen is visible. Yeah. Pradnishil, can you confirm?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, great. So ERC standards. Now ERC is nothing but the Ethereum request for comments. Okay. Now why this came into picture? Why people are just following the standards? Okay, let's discuss that first. So you'll understand a deep concept of how we can use this Ethereum standards and to what creation we can use. Okay, so earlier, okay, as we know that on the Ethereum platform we can create any token, that you and me can create any token. Now people used to start creating these tokens on the basis of their code understanding. Like, if I am creating a token called as the Nikita token, so I'll be writing my code on my as per my standard or as per my understanding of the Ethereum coding. Okay. And now, if someone else is there, my friend is there, he is also trying to create a token on his own code basis. Okay. Like, he has his own logic to it, he has his own standards for it. So, he has also created a token. I have created a token. Now only creation is not that enough. Yeah, we have to make money out of it by exchanging those tokens to each other. So if I think of that, I have to give my token to him, and he is going to share his token with me. Now only sharing or exchanging of tokens, okay, we are carrying out. But what is the friction getting created between us, our two code of standards, is I have written it as per my standards. He has written it as per his standard of coding. Now, these exchange is not getting compatible to both the tokens. Yeah. So, what happens? I have to study his code and he has to study my code in order to make those exchanges compatible and the token exchange successful between us to make money out of it. Yeah. Now, this was creating a large friction in the market, and everyone has to see each other's code, study first, and then start the exchange and then make it compatible and make money. What people thought of, let's have some standard to it. Like, everyone will create their token on the basis of some standards. Okay, some standards in the sense. Now let me come to a very layman's language, where now we all have a switchboard in our house. Okay, we have different manufacturers companies of the switchboards, and we buy any of them and then just put it into our house, and then we are able to plug in our plugs, whatever the charging sockets, the laptop chargers and all. Okay, now these manufacturer companies just design these switchboards in a standard way. Yeah, there are triangular dots. There is the distance between the two dots or the two holes is the same. Yeah, though we have hundreds and thousands of manufacturing companies of the switchboard, but they are maintaining a standard that anyone if tries to plug in their plugs, it should fit inside that. Okay, so this is the way we are trying to make our token coding pluggable. Yeah, we created some standards where people need to follow those rules and protocols, and they can create any token on top of it. Okay, so this was a basic thing which created a friction in the market, and people tried to comment on the Ethereum requests. Yeah, Ethereum request for comment is nothing but the people, those who were facing problems, just tried to comment it on the Ethereum Foundation. There was a GitHub link where people used to comment it. There were many issues. Okay, the issues had issue IDs also. So these issue IDs, which issue ID was solved, that become a standard. That means if one issue ID is having major solutions to it, okay, if one issue ID has a number of problems are getting solved in that particular issue ID, that became a standard. So we have many ERC standards in the market, like ERC 20, ERC 721, ERC 1155. Okay, so this was the what we can say launching of the ERC standards. Why it came into picture in the market? Because we were facing some problems, and we have to have a solution for it. With that, we can have a base code for it, and every other developer needs to follow that standards and then create a token on top of it, so that if we try to exchange our token to someone else or to a third person or anyone in the market, it should be easily compatible to each other. Okay, on top of it you can just create more customization and all, that is fine. Whatever features you want to add to your token, that is okay, but the basic standards need to be followed, so that every Ethereum foundation have a what we can say compatibility to all of the tokens, and can bring all of the tokens to their exchange, so that every other token could make money out of it. Okay, so this was the basic thing why ERC came into picture. Now, before this ERC, what is a token? Yesterday also we saw that we created a cryptocurrency. It was a token. Now there are two categories of token. Okay, inside that only we can say, not as officially, but yes, there are two categories of token, which is one is the security token, okay, and one is utility token. Now what is security token and utility token? Simple way, utility tokens are the tokens which we can give that tokens and take a commodity out of it, or take a product out of it. For example, if you must have heard about Bitcoin in the early 2000 seven, no, not 2017, 2009 or 10 or 12. Okay, in that year Bitcoin was given and a pizza was ordered. Okay, so that was a transaction, utility token. Yeah, we gave a token and we got a commodity out of it. Yes, that is any food item or any stationary item or any item which is there in the market, product, consider it as, that is utilized that token to get a utility out of it. Simple way, utility token. Now there comes a security token. Security tokens are nothing but like we have shares in our today's world, like we take some share of a Tata company, or we take some share of lands, or we take some share of X companies. These are what we are just buying their tokens. Yeah, we are buying their shares, and we cannot have that shares and give a shopkeeper and tell them that yes, I have your share and you have to give me a commodity. No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, security tokens are just for a security reason, where you can buy some sort of shares, and whenever it goes high or low, or whatever the profit you are getting at that point of time, you can just sell it or buy it. Okay, that type, these security token comes. For example, I have a MACD, five security tokens. Okay, so if I go to a MACD shop and I tell them that, see, I have five tokens of your company, I want a burger out of it. No, boss, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it is a security token and it has to be worked in that sense only. Now, why we are making it categorize, it depend upon the developer or the owner of the token. Okay, the code remains the same for both of these, security token and utility token. Code is the same. Okay, you will be writing the same code. Whatever extra features you want to give it, that can be written extra, but the basic code understanding and the logic to be written is the same. After that, when you marketized in the world that it, now this token I have created, this much should be a security token and this much should be a utility token, people will use according to that. Okay, that is the token part. Understood, like how it is utility, how it is security. Now, as these tokens were created, we created our cryptocurrency. So we created our cryptocurrency. On what standard we created? So as we learned that there are some ERC standards, Ethereum request for comment, there has a unique ID for it, and these unique IDs are 20, 721, and 1155. Now, it is not hard and fast that you have to use these standards only. There are other standards also with the other issue ID number to it. So, whatever your project requirement suits, okay, or what is your client having an idea of how to create a token, on what basis this token need to be utilized into the market, or for what reason it has to be launched. Yeah, it depends upon these different standards. Now, in these standards, yesterday we created a cryptocurrency based on the ERC20 standards. Now, why ERC20 only? Why not ERC 721 and 1155? Let's see. There are some fungible tokens and non fungible tokens. Now, fungible token, that means we can exchange that tokens easily. For example, if I give you a 2000 rupee note, you have to give me 504 notes. Yeah, 504 notes, that is equivalent to my 2000. So our value is also equal and we have exchanged it, and we don't have any complaints that you have not given me the exact value also. Yeah, so 2000 given to you, four notes of 500 given to me, equal. These are what? Exchangeable. Yeah, exchangeable tokens, that means fungible tokens with equal value. Okay, now there comes a non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible, as the name suggests, it is non-exchangeable. Okay, that means if you give me a non-fungible token, I will not give you what means, it is just like how I gave you a X token, you give me Y token only. Now, if I give you X token, I will be getting a non fungible token. Okay, with a fungible, you will get a non fungible. That means, for example, in the market, if you must have seen, right now there is a boom of NFT. Okay, people are just trying to buy NFTs, build NFTs, and having money out of it. Like, whenever, what is NFT is a unique piece of art piece. For example, people are trying to build a art piece out of it. Okay, there is in the market, like people are creating Amitabh Bachchan's NFT. There is a tweet, someone else's tweet has there, and it is a digital item, and that people are just selling it to the people. Okay, now this becomes a non fungible. That means, in a layman's term, if I say I have a house of 2 BHK and you also have a house of 2 BHK. If I give you my house and you give me yours, will it be okay? My house area will be different, your house area will be different, my registration ID is different, your registration house ID is different. These are what unique identities, we cannot exchange it so easily. Yeah, apart from that, if it is done with all of the customization or the dealings are done with each other, then only we can exchange it. But every other art piece or every other thing which we have is a unique. Yeah, if I have a unique pen and that is of a little cost, it is very costly, for example, and you have a cello pen which is just of 10 rupees and I have a pen of 100 rupees, my 100 rupees pen is having a unique identity to it. Yeah, how will I give that pen to you and get 10 rupees cello pen out of it? No, that doesn't happen. That is a unique identity getting exchanged. Yeah, so whenever a person just create a logical identity for it or a digital art piece, we give them the digital art piece and take a token out of it, cryptocurrency out of it. Okay, so this happens with the non-fungible tokens. There are the fungible tokens. People have created Amitabh Bachchan's digital art piece, and this was sold for 7 crore rupees. There are people in the market, they have buyed also. Jack Dorsey, whose first tweet was just created into an NFT and sold it for this much dollar. Yeah. So this is the market which is having that much boom. Like you have people are just taking into consideration some license from the Bollywood actors, actresses, or any other famous people and trying to create their logical and digital art piece and they try to sell it to the people. Yeah, people are buying this and making money out of it. The other people will sell it to some other person, they'll make money out of it. That is different concern. But these are the tokens which are getting bifurcated between the ERC standards, and whatever you are, your expectation or what is your requirement for the project or the client, you have to design it accordingly. For it is ERC 20 and ERC 721. Now, ERC 20, we just saw that ERC 20 is for creating a cryptocurrency. ERC 721 is for NFTs. Okay, so on the basis of these Ethereum standards, you can create an NFT on 721. ERC 1155 is nothing but the combination of both. Yeah, ERC 20 also, ERC 721. That is, it can be fungible also, it can be non fungible also. Now we know that ERC 20 tokens we can create, we can exchange those tokens, make money out of it, sorted. ERC 720, when we can make NFTs, non fungible tokens, we can sell those digital art pieces, whatever it is, whatever icons it is, and then make money out of it. Now, where this ERC 1155 is getting used? Now, 1155, as we say, that it is a combination of 20 and 721. We have an application, for example, in gaming. Okay, whenever we just install any game, we see that there are some in-app purchases. Now in that in-app purchases, we can give some tokens and buy those collectibles, or we can have any non-fungible transactions. Yeah, so in this type of application, this ERC 1155 standards comes into picture. Okay, we can just refer to it. We can have multiple applications where we need to have a token exchange also, and we need to have a what we can say NFTs exchange also. For example, in a malls, okay, in malls where we go, we have vouchers for it. We have a Pantaloon voucher, we have Max voucher, we have H&M vouchers and all. So these vouchers are nothing but what? Tokens. Yeah, in some sort or the other way, these are some tokens through which we can just buy some commodity. So that becomes a unique piece for them. Yeah, there is a unique H&M voucher, there is a unique Pantaloons voucher where we can just give them and then buy some clothes to it or any other commodity to it. Yeah, so these are the applications of these different ERC standards where it comes into picture. People try to solve all of these solutions. There are some more solutions coming up. There are some ERC 223. Also, there are number of ERC standards to which your project suits. You have to build the token on the basis of that. Okay, there are some uh, what we can say is a top 20 list kind of thing, where ERC 20 tokens are there: USD token, HEX token, then Binance USD, Shiba Inu, Drep, Chainlink. These are little bit famous ERC 20 tokens which are marketized and proposed into the market, launched, and making money out of it. People are just buying this token, having exchanges, and doing all sort of things. This was the evolution of Ethereum token standards. So, firstly, it came the ERC 20. Now, you must be knowing what is the number where it came from: 2721, 1155. These are the issue IDs, okay, issue numbers, which the Ethereum Foundation got it, and they gave a solution for it. From there itself, it became a standard. ERC 20 was into the picture 2015. Then later on, we came up to 2018, 721 came up. Then in 2019, late 1155 was introduced into the market. So these is just an exponential graph which ERC standards are coming up. People are trying to build or have more specifications on top of it, and then create on all of these tokens and any applications based on it. Characteristics of ERC 20 tokens, as we discussed, these are the fungible tokens. Fungibility defines the ability of an asset or token to be exchanged. Yeah, that means for the same example which I gave you: 2000 rupees and 500 rupees, four notes. Yeah, ERC 20 token is strictly equivalent to the same value regardless. Yeah, that means in the ERC 20 token you cannot build an NFT. Like if you try to just impose any NFT, that if I'll give you an ERC 20 token, you give me a NFT out of it. No, that is doesn't works. NFTs are different. It should be followed as ERC 721 standard. ERC 20 tokens, most popular applications like the stable coins are there, governance coins are there, and ICOs, we saw it yesterday's session. Initial coin offerings. Yeah, whatever we create a token, it is called as initial coin offerings. Right? ERC 721, these are NFTs, non fungible tokens. It is a unique art piece where it can be used in the gaming applications. Same thing with the 1155, it is a fungible, and non fungible token. So, all of these are covered into 1155. So, if we get an application from any client or project, or if we ourselves want to create, where we need some ERC 20 also, tokens also, NFTs also, or mix of it. That if one token is to be used in exchanging also, or in an NFT exchange also, so we can use this ERC 1155 standards. Is applicable for creating NFTs, redeemable shopping vouchers, ICOs, and so on. Okay. Comparison is a little easy comparison for ERC 20, 721, and 1155, where we can see that whatever points we have discussed, it is covered inside this. I'll be attaching this PDF, and you can just refer it to that. Right now, we'll just move on to a token creation. I'll just share my screen again. Now we'll create one NFT. Example we'll just see. So on top of it, you can just create any NFTs having your own features on it. Okay. So this is a remix ID. You all know that it is a platform where we can just compile our smart contracts and deploy those smart contracts. Now here I have just created a NFT from the Open Zeppelin. You know that there is an Open Zeppelin library which will help us, which will facilitate us to just create any ERC 20, ERC 721, or ERC 1155 token in a easy way, in a what we can say a smooth way, where you can just tick on whatever features you want for the NFTs, or tokens or 1155 tokens, and then you can just open it into a remix. So what I have did, I have clicked on this ERC 721. Now in this ERC 721, what we get is the name of the token and the symbol of the token. Obviously, as we created yesterday with the ERC20, we gave the name and the token symbol. Same way happens with the 721 also, because it is also a token at the end. So the name of the token I have given, then the symbol of the token, then the base URI. Now what is this base URI kind of thing? Now as we are creating a digital a digital art piece for it, like these are the tokens only. We are not creating in a digital art piece in the coding way. We are just attaching the created art piece and giving the ID of the NFT to that art piece, and then we can sell it. So what happens is, as we created a code, now we have to launch it. Now when we launch it, we need to have a URI where all of these NFTs or the digital art piece will be visible on the what we can say website or link, you can see. From there people will just select and then see the price for what it is, and then buy those NFTs. So that link to which we are going to publish it, we need to mention it here. Okay, so the base URI, then it should be mintable or not mintable. Mintable, that means it has to be generated or it has to be created every time or not. Okay, auto increment IDs, that is if we have created NFTs. Okay, now like 10 NFTs are created, 10 digital art pieces are created, it is attached to a unique ID of the NFTs. Now if these are attached and if these are sold out, now the owner thinks, if I'm going to create more NFTs and I want to publish it on the same links, then it should be auto incrementable, or the counter should move on. Okay, 1 plus 1 plus 1. So whenever they just click on a mint button, they'll create one more NFT, that is create one more ID to it. They'll attach the digital art piece to that ID, and they again sell it to the people. Okay, that is the thing. Burnable, yesterday we again saw that how these burnable options is there. Like if we have extra tokens to be is been created in the market. Okay, like if we thought of 2.5 billion, and now after the bonuses and all, and the owner's account also, there is 1.5 billion token are there in his account. After that, there are some 300 million tokens left out from the launch state and the pre-launch state also. So what we will be doing, we'll be burning off these tokens. So we'll have a clarity, and we have security and what we can say transparency between the owner, that is who has created the token, and also the consumer, or what we can say the user of this token, will see that yes, these extra tokens were left out and the owner has not took advantage of it. They have just burnt it off. So whatever tokens are just regularized in the market, that will be only the number of tokens, like how we have in our government, that only this much amount of money is to be circulated, or this much amount of notes only to be generated from the press. So in that way we are making some assurities to the people who are using our tokens. Okay, there should be a possible, if we want to pause our token creation anytime throughout the contract or throughout the launching state or pre-launching state, we can use this. Votes is again a different thing. Enumerable and URI storage of the tokens, what you want to give it. Okay, then there comes an access controller, ownable and roles. That means if I am running an organization, I have created a token in my organization, I won't be the single person owning it. Yes, there will be 2 3 more persons, or there would be a team of 10 persons. So within those 10 persons, if I want to give access to 5 persons, okay, only 5 persons can do the exact thing which I am doing, that is the owner is doing. Other 5 persons will be doing the thing in a little less priority wise, or little less authority wise. Like if I am creating a token also, and the other 5 people will be able to transfer those token to the people. Yeah, so this is what roles I am just deciding it to give it to my people in the organization. So that comes into the access control, to what person you want to give the access for, and how it should be. It should be only ownable, or it should be defined in the role spaces. Then there is upgradability, transparency, and all. Security contact, again, the link which you want to give it and publish it into the market. And license, obviously, we have to use a license whenever we are writing a Solidity code. The very first line comes into the picture is a license. It should be an MIT license or the other license as well. Okay. Then this I have just created it and added some more features for my NFT. Okay, so we'll just discuss quickly what is this extra features which I have added. Is the first thing. Okay, the license line is there. Yeah, then there is a Pragma Solidity version. What version I am using is 0.8.4. Yesterday I used a 0.4.20 because I used a manual functions which I have written every other functions manually, and I try to use a very old Solidity compiler version. Right now in the market there are multiple Solidity compiler versions. Like if you see here, there are n number of, see, it started from 0.1.1, it increased up till 0.8.15. Yeah, so right now I'm using it for 0.8.4. Yeah, so whatever you are using a compiler version, you should select it from the list, and then you should be good to go. There comes the import library instructions. Like it is from the Open Zeppelin thing. Yeah, I am importing some libraries from Open Zeppelin, and I have to write those import lines in this. Then there comes my contract. Okay, after all of these imports, we straight away start writing a contract. There should be a contract name for it. That is simple mint contract is ERC 721. What is ERC 721 for? Because we are inheriting the properties of ERC 721. As this is the ERC standard, we need to follow each and every rules and protocols, and for that we should inherit those things, yeah, in our contract. So we have made it simple mint contract is ERC 721. It is ownable. That means I am keeping it or restricting it to just ownable. Okay, then I have defined some of the variables like mint price. Now mint price is if anyone want to mint an NFT, that means we have to create an NFT, they should give me 1 ether. Okay, so 1 ether should be deposited from the account, and then only we can mint it, and then ID will be created, and then those digital art piece, for example I'm talking about, will attach it to the ID of it, and then it has to be sold to the market. Okay, so then there comes a total supply variable, then there comes a max supply variable, then is mint enabled. Okay, now I am adding one more function, that if this mint this NFTs is to be enabled or not. So extra feature that if this is toggled, if the value is true or false, then only it should be allowed to mint. Then there comes the mapping address. Now mapping, yesterday we saw that what is mapping is just masking a value. If a is having a value of 5, now I don't want a's value 5, I want it 10. You can easily use this mapping address. It is a key type, value type, and then you are easily good to assign any new value to a variable which is targeted. So this thing I'm doing is why address is equal to u in 256, because to what address have given me 1 ether, I will be attaching that ID, that is my NFT, to it, and it will be a new mapping for it. That means your if you want to just mint an NFT, you will give me 1 ether. That means your address is recorded with me. Yeah, you are going to just deploy it again. Yeah, or you are just going to mint it for in a correct way. Okay, so you are going to mint it. That means my NFT's ID is going to attach to your address. That will be that means you are the owner of the NFT. Okay, so that is address arrow UN256 public minted wallets. Why minted wallets? That means those who have minted those NFTs, to that address I will just attach that ID to. Okay, that is minted wallets. Now there is a constructor where payable function is used as ERC 721. If it is a payable, then only it will just give me a, what we can say, a message, or it is simple mint. Okay, and then max supply per wallet, it will be only two. So if you try to mint only up to two nfts, you will be able to mint those nfts. Okay, so then there comes a function toggle mint enabled. Now this is prior to the prior is mint enabled, we are making it false. Now, if we are calling this toggle mint enabled function, that means we are making that false to true. So, how to write that logic is simple. This function is going to be called externally only. It will be called by the owner only, and is mint enabled is equals to not equal to is mint enabled. Earlier the value was false, so not equal to false automatically true. That means it will be assigned true value to the toggle mint enable. So it will be enabled. Now there comes set max supply. Okay, now set max supply, that means you are making a max supply of how it should be there, whether it should be one or whether it should be two. If any address or any owner is trying to mint those NFTs, how much supply you need to give it. So for now, I'm just making it for one and two only, where any other address from the MetaMask wallet or any other wallet just tries to mint those NFTs, they will be able to do one address and one NFT per. Okay, so there comes a function mint, which is external payable. That means this also function can be called externally, which have some error handling instructions like is require. Now firstly, if it is external payable, we need to have some checks on it, like require is mint enabled. Yes, if it is enabled, that means if it is true, then it will be successful. If it is false, then we'll see a message like minting not enabled, and then we have to go to the toggle button for it. Then there comes a require minted wallets message dot sender is less than one. Yeah, if one address tries to mint NFT twice, they'll get a message that exceeds max per wallet. Okay, because we have set a max limit that one address can mint only one NFT. Then there comes a next error handling message as require message dot value is equal to the mint price. Yeah, the mint price which we have given is, if you see here, 1 ether. So if any other wallet address, okay, or any other person who is trying to mint this and have entered a less than 1 ether amount, then what the message they'll get, wrong value. Because if I have set a rule that if you want to mint an NFT, you have to give me 1 ether. If you give less than that, obviously the code should give you an error. Yeah, it should revert that there is a wrong value. There's something wrong in the code. Yeah. So require, the next one is max supply is greater than total supply. If the max supply is greater than the total supply, that means if another person is trying to mint one more or two three more nfts on the same address, they'll just get a message that it is sold out. Okay, the next thing comes is minted wallets. Minted wallets is message dot sender plus plus. That means we are just incrementing it. If it is one, then from one it should go to two, from two it should go to three. Okay, total supply plus plus, again post increment operation. UN 256 token ID is equal to total supply. That means we have to give token IDs. See, in here in smart contract and Solidity, we are not attaching any, like I showed you Amitabh Bachchan's NFT to here. I'm not writing any Amitabh Bachchan's code here that what is the name of my NFT. No, we are just attaching the ID for it, the token ID for it, and whatever token ID to what the digital art piece it is attached, then it can be sold out, or what the buying and purchase can be done. Okay, so this thing is just covered the same way how we are writing it in the ERC20 tokens for creating it. For NFTs little bit different we have it, that base standard is different. For ERC 721 we need to refer it. Okay, then there is a safe mint function where we are just making it as message.sender token ID. You should create it if we call this safe main function. Now let's try to compile this. Now if we have selected a correct compiler version, that is 0.8.4 plus, it will be compiled successfully, as we have seen a green tick here. So there are no errors. We can proceed ahead and then go for the deployments. Now in this deployments, the fourth option, okay, this is the deployment option. The environment again we are selecting is JavaScript VM. Yesterday I showed you about the injected Web3. So with the injected Web3, what do you get? You can just inject a wallet for it. For example, MetaMask wallet I have just showed you. Oh, you can just have a connection between the two wallets. You will get an address to be seen here, to what wallet it is connected, what is the balance also you will get to know. Now here earlier I have just taken some deployment, so it is right now showing 98.99 balance. Okay, by default in the JavaScript VM environment, every other account. Now if you see, there are 10 or more accounts here. Okay, every other account is having a balance of 100 ether. That means faucets are deposited to this particular address, so a person or a owner or a developer can just test on these wallets. Okay, with these wallets, why this testing is important. Now there were some cases in the early stages of these NFTs. People created those NFTs, they sold it to the market. After some point of time, their contract were giving some issues, or there were some bugs in that contract. Now in blockchain, it is a rule, that it is a rule of what, that is the basic, that is the backbone of blockchain, that whatever you do it cannot be changed. Yeah, it cannot be what we can say, modified. You cannot delete it. Okay, so whatever is there inside a network, it will be there throughout the time. Okay, so people try to just create an NFTs, sold it, and they faced some issues, and some hundred or millions of NFTs were just into vain. Okay, so they didn't got actual amount for it and all. Why? Because they didn't have done the testing for it. Smart contract, whenever it is written, if we have bugs, we just fix it and then we redeploy those contracts, and then we make it into the market, and then only we launch it into the market. This is very important, because as it is a blockchain base, it is not going to allow us to change it when it is in the launch state. Whatever it is launched, then it is up to you. You have to bear the loss if it happens, or you need to stop that just launching. Okay, but if you just test it early only, then you have the option of redeploying it as well. Yeah, on your cases only, when you are working with the test nets, then only people move on to the main nets. Yeah, this is the process how the developer follows. First they'll just create a contract, then they'll just test it with the test nets, because these are 100 ethers. See, 100 ether, that means one ether is around 13 lakhs around of the Indian rupees. Okay, if you have to just do it like in the vein, and if you are making it deploying the main net, that means main Ethereum net, not in the test nets, then you will be in a trouble that you have to spend lots of money in redeploying the contracts. So it is better way to just have a check to it. We have test nets, developers have created those test nets, we have some faucet ethers. We just try to first check it on that platform and then move on to the main nets. Now here I have selected the first one, which I have some 98.99 ether. That is more than sufficient for just deploying any of the contract right now. Gas limit is just the same. You don't have to change anything right now. Value will not change there are some values, units also, like V, GV, Fini, and Ether. So on the basis of what value you have defined it in the contract, then you have to just change it. Okay, like right now let's keep it as it is. Now in this contract you get to see there are some contracts also, means there are many .sol files. Why there are these many .sol files? Because we have some imports from the Open Zeppelin also, which is referring to ERC 721.sol and all of these kinds of things. But these libraries or these .solve files I have used in a simple mint contract, which is my contract. So from here, it is necessary to check that you select your own contract name, that is nft.solve. Okay, simple mint contract nft.solve, whatever the file name it is. So I have just selected it, and right now we need to just deploy it. I'll just delete all of these earlier deployed contracts so you can just see it afresh. If I just click on this deploy, it is not going to pop any MetaMask because we are running it in the JavaScript environment. Okay, so it is using the inbuilt environment. Here you can see that there is a green tick here. That means my deployment is successful. If there would be an error, it would have mentioned it in detail and a reward call will be given to us. Okay. So if we open this arrow in the deployed contracts, we get to see all of these functions. Okay, all of these functions. Now if you must have seen carefully, only the simple mint contract I have created, toggle mint enabled function, and set max supply and mint function. So hardly 2 3 functions I have created, but I have got so many functions. Why? Because I am importing some libraries from ERC 721, that is a standard, and it is giving me those functions as well. Yeah, those are inbuilt functions which I can use it even though I haven't manually written it in my contract. Okay, so this is the advantage of using the Open Zeppelin. Now what we need to do is, now let's try to check how the code is written and if it is working in the same way. If I try to mint it, okay, what is the error here? Transact to simple mint contract dot mint error. Okay, VM error is there. Revert. The transaction has been reverted to the initial state. Reason provided by the contract is minting not enabled. That means our smart contract is working in the same fashion how we have coded it, because we haven't toggled the mint enabled function. So what we need to check it, yes, is mint enabled. Let's see. Yeah, I got a value which is bool. Okay, boolean value. It either be true or false. So I've got a value of false. So I need to make it true. So I have created a button to it. Now that button is a private button. Why? Yesterday as itself we just discussed, if it is in the orange or red in color, these are the private functions. When it is in the blue color, it will be a public function. That means publicly people can access those functions, okay, or those key features. But the orange color or the red color can be accessed by the owner itself who have deployed the contract. Okay, so I'll just go to toggle mint enable. Now it has given me a green tick and it is successfully toggled. Now let's see if this is mint enabled is true. It has changed from false to true. So that is correct. Yeah, we have seen this. So now we are ready to mint those NFTs. Now how to mint those NFTs? What I have given is, if any address need to mint the NFT, they need to give me 1 ether. Yeah, can you see this? UN 256 public mint price 1 ether. That means I need to enter it here as 1 ether. If you see it here as well, if you see the total supply is zero right now because we haven't minted anything. Symbol for my NFT is simple mint, which I have declared it. What is the owner? This is my address, which from which address I have deployed this. Okay, so this is the thing. Then what is the name of my NFT is simple mint, again mint price. Now here you can see that 1 ether, this is 1 ether. Okay, why this many zeros are there? Because it is 18 decimal. As we are following the ERC standards, yesterday also when we created our cryptocurrency, we made a decimal of 18 to it. That means whatever value will be there, it will followed by an 18 zeros. Okay, so total will be of 18, 17 zeros. Yeah. So that why we are making it as 18 decimal, because smallest unit of the ether can also be transferred from one account to other account, because we can see that one ether in our Indian rupees is 13 lakh. If we want to transfer those, we are obviously not going to transfer 13 lakhs. We want, if we want to transfer 500 rupees or 1000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, then in that terms you will be giving 0.000125 or that much ethers. So to give that flexibility to have it, we are making it as 18 decimal. So right now my mint price is 1 ether. So this, with 1 ether, what I'm going to do is I'll just copy this 1 ether, because it is going to take the value in V. So that many zeros, and I'll just put it in here. Okay, it then got copied. Let's this again. Okay, it is not typing. Let's do it. Ether. Okay, and I'll just go and select V. So this much value I am going to give it, because that is the rule. I have, if I want to mint it, I will give 1 ether. If I click on this mint function, a green tick, I got it. That means I have minted one NFT and I will be getting an ID for it. Okay. So total supply, if you see it here, that is one. Okay. Now the owner of this. Now what is the owner of the token ID? Yeah. If I type it in zero, if I give a call for it, yeah, it is reverted. Yeah. That means we haven't started with the zero counting. We have started with the one counting for it. And if we call it, and then we'll get to know that this address is the owner, means token id1 I got it because I have minted it. Who have minted it? This address. The owner of this address will get that NFT. Okay, that means one ID, and then I can attach any of the digital art piece to it, and then we can sell it to the market. Okay, so like in this fashion, IDs are generated on the particular addresses and then attached to it. Okay, so let's try to mint one more. Can you see that there is an error? Yeah, why it has reverted? Because we have made a rule. Only one address can mint only one NFT for it. Yeah. For this, the transaction has been reverted to the initial state. Reason provided by the contract is exceeds max per wallet. Yeah, our code is exactly working in the same fashion which I have coded. Now, what we will do, we'll just select some other address. I'll just enter again that value. Okay, V only, and then we'll try to mint it. I'll get a green tick because I have selected a different address for it. Yeah, different address. Again, one more NFT will be there. Yes. So what is this? The second ID it is, right? If we call it to a token ID 2 and give a call to it, my address is different right now. Yeah, because I have minted it from the other address, and that only should come. Yeah, so my token ID is assigned to this address, to this owner, 0xab84 and so on. So okay, if I go and select one more address, okay, and again we'll just type in one ether, one v value, and we'll try to mint it. Now see, it has given me an error. Why? Because we have created a max limit, max supply of two only for now, as we were testing only. So I have created supply of two. In the real scenarios, it won't happen, because many of the NFTs will be there in the market, right? We need to create those IDs, and people will attach their digital art piece and then sell it. So for testing purpose, I have just created a max supply of two. One and two were already sold out. I tried minting one more NFT with some other account, and it gave me an error that it is sold out. That means all the IDs are sold out. Now you cannot mint more NFTs than this. If you want to have more NFTs, you need to increase the max supply. If you type in 10, 15, 100 or millions of NFTs, then that many IDs you will get it. That IDs you can assign it to that particular addresses. That means that owner will have a unique identity for it. He can attach a unique art piece to it, whatever it is, and then it can be propagated in the market. Now, these all is the working of how a basic NFT is created, and it is deployed. Okay, so these are the functions, like how approve functions need to be worked on. Like if you want to give any approval to some other address, and this takes any parameters like address and token ID. That means if I want to give my NFT one ID token to some other address, I need to make it approved first. And then only that person will own my NFT. Okay, own my NFT, that means own my token ID. Yeah, to what token ID, whatever the digital piece is attached, that will be owned again by the other person. But this transferring of ownership or giving approval to some other people works in the fashion of giving these approval functions. Okay, then there is a renounce ownership, then there is a safe transfer. You can transfer those NFTs to from address to address, which is the token ID for NFT, and then it goes on. Okay, so these are the different functions. You will just explore it. Most of it we have just covered it. What is the balance of this particular address? Now let's see what is the address of what is the balance of this. We have this address. Okay, and we need to go to the first account from where we have deployed, and I'll type in here where it is the owner of the balance of, huh, the balance of. Okay, if we want to check what is the balance of this. So balance of this address is one, because it has owned only one NFT, and we have made it that only one address can own one NFT. Okay, if we make it or make it dynamic there, that one address can own multiple NFTs, then you can see more than one NFTs. Okay, so this is the basic functioning of NFT, how you can deploy it easily, how you can compile it, how you can see the working of it, and then how it is propagated into the market. Okay, so this is the thing that we need to cover it in today's session, that ERC standards and NFTs of creating and just deploying it. I hope you all just enjoyed the session with me. Any queries, we can just discuss it off. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, there are number of ERC issue IDs in used. Okay, so ERC 1400, which is also in used, you can just check into those list. Whatever fits into your application of your code, you can just go with that ERC standard. Okay, but most of the people are using all of these three out of these three standards, which suits and are just stable into the market: the DRC 20, 721, and 1155. Okay. Thank you so much, all. Any more queries? Okay, how can I use ERC20 used as base token to buy NFTs? Now see you can have a NFT with obviously giving your ERC20 tokens. Yeah, that is money for the NFT created. Yeah, so in the simple way, how we can just exchange our commodities, or if we give a money to a shopkeeper and he gives us a commodity, okay, in our world it is a unique commodity or unique art piece kind of thing or digital art piece, so you have to give them the money. From there only they just get those money, like how in our today's code also, if you give me one ether then only I'll be creating an NFT. Yeah, that means an NFT ID for it. So I am getting all the ethers or deposited into my account, I am making money out of it, and you are getting the NFTs or IDs created. Okay, I hope it is clear. Yes, it is used in a safety purpose. Yeah. Any more doubts? Yeah, safety, security, both of this, as we discussed about the security tokens and the utility tokens. So you can just bifurcate whatever token you are creating, you can give those name to it. See, at the end, it is just a naming difference. The token creation, the code remains the same for both of the tokens. Yeah. Any more queries? Pick up the base blockchain token, either Matic or Ether. But if I want to use my own ERC20 token to buy, so see, it should be okay. So we have one question that if you are creating a blockchain token either on Matic or Ether, but if you want if to use your own ERC20 token to buy, so it should be compatible at the end. Okay, whenever an NFT is launched into the market, they will be coding it in the same fashion, that if you give that much amount of particular token, like how I have entered it, like one ether only I wanted, yeah, one X token, yeah, one BTC, if I would have entered into my code of NFT, then that other person who is trying to buy my NFT or my digital art piece has to give to me in that particular token only. Okay, if you now suppose if I want a digital art piece in a foreign country where there is a dollar, now if I give them the Indian rupee, will they give me that digital art piece? No, they will be expecting dollar itself. Yeah, so that is the case. The people who are coding it, they'll just define it in what terms they want, okay, or what tokens they want, the incoming tokens, and then they give the NFTs. So on the basis of your ERC20 token, then it should be compatible to that particular NFT you are buying it. I hope the question is answered. Any confusion or any other queries? Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So any other question, guys? Like, hello, Nikita, am I audible now? Because
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
Yes.
able to hear you properly.
Okay. Are you able
Fine.
to hear me? Yeah.
So I think there is no more question from audience.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let us wrap it up then.
Yes, yes, sure. Yes.
Yeah. So
Thank you so much all
thank you so
for,
much, guys, and thank you so much, Nikita, for helping us to conduct this workshop, and thank
yeah,
you so much for teaching such awesome topics to our audience. Okay,
yeah,
I hope these guys will you know use these concepts properly,
yes,
and
sure.
guys. Today at 7 p.m. we also have one more webinar with Bitbutwa's founder, Mr. Lakshman Singh. So please be there, talk to him, ask him about Web3, scope, jobs, okay, all these things, okay, and yeah, and
Yes.
thank you, Nikita, once again
Thank
for
you so much for having
such
me.
an amazing workshop.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys. Have a good time. Bye, Nikita.
Bye. Take care
Yeah,
all.
bye.